Noah to lead us in the review and guide for us to have discussion. So yeah.
We're starting with Naomi's. Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
I have not received.
But how much grade you grade her essay?
Not so good.
No, not high. I don't see it. Oh, 7.5. His best, his good score is a salary 7. No, it's a crew grader. So.
That's true.
No, it's actually.
Yeah,
Okay, are we ready?
No.
Nope.
Where is it?
Oh, you don't have it? I mean, I know
I
I'm
don't
supposed
have
to
it.
send it to.
I sent to you guys.
I have it.
Okay.
I do not. What?
Yeah.
Wait.
I don't know what to do.
I received nothing.
I saw
weird,
Elijah
it's not
was
letting
on
me
use
use it.
iCloud
Well,
you have
don't
a-
send it to iCloud, send it to Gmail.
to Gmail. Okay, I'm
I
so
won't
sorry.
get on iCloud.
Okay, I will get on your Gmail. I don't have your Gmail.
You should. I send it stuff to you on that every time.
I know, that's interesting.
So you should just be able to find my link and then my
Elijah, sure. That's interesting. Elijah,
It was coming.
that's so crazy. Elijah, what's going on? Elijah 3 Gmail.
Yep, that's me.
I'm not getting anything.
You know what this is online?
No, it's language.
Okay, you can start.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's your email. Let me try.
Okay.
Start. Hit that one.
Praise and criticism. What do we seek in our life? We criticize and we praise, but where are they prioritized? How we express ourselves and how we criticize others is important for the way that we live our life. We must find positive criticism and healthy praise. As we know, criticism can usually come across as a negative thing from another person. In some cases, it is a negative thing to denounce someone for their wrong or to say something like an attack. But if there is a wise and loving heart behind a criticism, it becomes more of a positive criticism. This must be understood as a good thing for our life, for we learn from our mistakes, and hearing words of construction will encourage us to grow in more maturity and truth. Proverbs 15:31 through 33 talks about the importance of heeding wisdom and truth and accepting the correction in our life. We gain more by understanding our faults. Our human nature is to fail or fall down, but God is there to pick us up and bring us closer to Him in His glory. So forget about your old ways and put away the pride of disregarding life-giving corrections. Fear the Lord and gain true wisdom and instruction. The praises of our hearts can be a good and bad practice. What we praise and how we praise it is truly the position of our heart. So what our minds and hearts consume will eventually come out of our lips. Learn to fill your heart with things of the Lord and praise Him, for only He is worthy to be praised. We must not praise the wrong or base things off this world, but the one and only King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The right praise is a restorative and potential implement. It restores our focus and it realigns the priorities in our life, making ourselves more receptive and open to hearing from the Father and the Holy Spirit. In praising God, we are letting our spirit move and allowing Him to speak through us, burning away the other selfish desires in us. We are truly sons of God, or are we truly sons of God? I keep losing my spot.
Too tiny.
I know.
Yeah.
Are we truly sons of God if we praise Him but curse human beings with the same tongue? No. We must tame the tongue of lies and deceit, together with changing our mindset. The more it takes priority and practice in our lives, the more it will be seen and acted upon. Praise be to the Father in heaven. It is His name that we praise and worship, and with the same mouth encourage and bring others up. Praise be His purpose and plan, and may we fulfill His will. We find that we learn from our mistakes and gain maturity in truth through positive criticism. We praise the Lord in His works and use our voice to bring peace and life to the people of this earth, ever striving for the will of God. So use these two acts of the tongue as a powerful tool to be used by God, and begin to bring more of His light into this dark world.
I like this IC. I really appreciate it. I think he did a wonderful job. I don't know why 7.5.
No.
That's just a real feeling.
Mine was worse.
Is that right? You're 5.5? Okay. Past 5 is good for me. You know it's English, so.
Good.
No, it's picky.
He did a lot of good writing classes.
He
Good
did.
writing.
He knows what's
He
good.
did. Therefore his
I hope
standards
so.
are high.
Nicholas.
I think you're gonna read my writing most like average of 7. Past 7, I'm glad. So. Yeah, I'm 50 years old. You know, past 7, you know, so double somebody's age. So, well, who's going to do the leading the discussion? I will try to cheer you guys up. That's all you fall asleep. So. My job is cheerleader. Tell us what to do.
Oh, no pencils in the face, please.
Go ahead.
You guys can take turns.
Take turns,
If
yeah.
anyone has anything to say about them, take the initiative and do it.
I think it's a pretty good essay because you covered what the common misunderstandings of praise and criticism, but they truly are in like the right places for them. I think you could have. I don't know. I'm not really good with essays. I don't. Because whenever I criticize, I feel like someone counters my criticism and it doesn't apply. So, I think you did a good job.
That's how that's how you're offering it.
Well, I don't have.
Then we can criticize your criticism. So that's fine. Don't have any. Okay. He give up on you. Okay.
I like yours. I think it covers the topic well. And I like how it's based on godly wisdom. I do think, that, or I felt like there wasn't maybe that much covered on criticism,
Yeah.
but you did cover a good part of criticism, which is important, of course. But I like your wisdom with the praise, and yeah, you did a good job. That's all good.
Well, did my conversation with you guys dampen your spirit today? So, or is it getting tired? It's not my fault, okay? So, good. Okay.
I had some thoughts.
You have some
I have
thoughts.
some thoughts.
Okay.
I think it's technically a good essay.
Yeah. But
What? There's a but. I will add the but, and I think with you, Naomi, in particular, I want to encourage you. I really want this to be an encouragement because it is a criticism,
Yeah.
But it's not a negative one. I think you have within you, young lady, a real voice that needs to be heard. This essay feels like you're holding back. And so you're presenting information that is technically true, but it offers me no insight into your heart, into your mind. And so where this could become much more powerful, because I think you have a lot to say in this regard. And I could be wrong, so I'm going to offer criticism even though I may be wrong in it. I think there is a voice that you have that your generation needs, that our people need, that you are still reluctant to share. And I think the unfortunate part about that is that certainly hurts you in some ways, because I think you continue to stay stuck in worrying about what to say, how to say it, and then not saying it. But I think what it really impacts is those people in your life that are around you. I think you have a wisdom far beyond your years, and I've seen that through your writing.
Yeah.
And I think in this essay, it's a good essay.
Too
But I would like
technical.
you to dig a little bit
Yeah.
deeper.
Too technical.
Yeah. I feel like there's
Detached.
there's something you've got to share in here, that if it was more personable, you would have a much more profound impact. And so that's a difficult one, because it's not a bad essay. But I think maybe you created a kind of a trap for yourself, because I know the ability for you to write, and I think your giftedness in writing comes when you are vulnerable and real and genuine and raw. And so, again, not a bad essay, but I don't think you've really shared anything of yourself in it. It feels more like it reads more like something you've read little pieces here and that you're just telling me technically. So I look forward to always reading your stuff, because you're a gifted writer and a gifted orator
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. But I sense a genuine reluctance in you to go deeper. And I, for one, would like to see the deeper parts of your insight come forward.
That would be wonderful nowadays. So, yeah. You know, speaking bad things, he's passionate about it, you know. So take ownership of the topic, you know. That you didn't take ownership of this topic. You can feel that tonight. So yeah. More detached.
I think maybe I
subjects.
got more focused on like trying to, not that I didn't like understand what these two were, but like truly trying to understand. And so I did a lot of like, even in the Bible and stuff, like research on them. And I think that's what I got caught up on, and just kind of doing more of
You didn't do a bad job per se. It was
Yeah.
just like you can take ownership of the subject, share personal stuff, you know, not bad stuff. Everybody struggle in these two aspects. There are some life situation can, you know, respond to it. This kind of essay does not have to be a technical essay in a sense, you know, so, yeah.
Well, this essay really, I mean, in that regard, then I would say maybe this essay was written as a door that you need to walk through,
Yeah.
and as you do, maybe that will give you a little bit more lived-in perspective in what the Lord and Scriptures have taught you in this.
There you go. Well, to be frank with you guys, that's why, because this essay was there, I take some measures in your practical life, try to let you guys actively engage life in a certain way, can really practice a topic you're learning. You know, not just mentally thinking about this is a good thing to learn, I learn something, but really to say, okay, you know, in real life there are certain decisions and scenarios going through, wow, those things begin to apply. It's so real, you know, so that's why I added some more strict measure in deadlines, in dealing with attitudes, because I wanted to see what's really mean to receive critical, positive, whatever the word, you use the word positive criticism, you know, so, and then receive the praise, balancing out criticism, you know, so, and don't just concentrate on one side. When we offer criticism, yes, we may highlight that, but I want to easily also want to pay attention to, if not more importantly, the praise we give guys, you know, talk about the wonderful heart you have, you know, so because that's when your emotion take over the day, the scenario take over the day, often you're not able to really see through the heart of the person behind who is engaging a conversation or dynamic with you. And I think you got the trust and appreciation enough to able to do some seems a harsh tone of things, but my heart is for you to be better off in a sense, and also want to learn to really see why I think certain criticism can be helpful for you, because it breaks certain mode, liberate you to a different place, so you created a whole dynamic around your life can be so free and full of life, full of the Lord. So anyway, Naomi, I'm making sense to you? Yes, so yeah. I just want to really appreciate Justin's presence in discussing such nature. So yeah. Any more, Justin? Yeah.
No, I think that was probably the.
How much you gonna grade? 10, 0 to 10. 1 to 10.
To be honest with you, I think this is unfinished.
Oh,
So I think
finish
from my perspective, reading it, I don't think it's been lived in. So if I graded it on a technical standpoint, I'd probably be pretty consistent with Noah, probably around a 7.5.
Okay.
But I'm very much would grade things more on the passion or the voice that it's spoken with to be convinced.
Yeah.
Because I think it is definitely something you know about, but I think you alluded to this. It's something I think you need to experience a little bit more.
Right.
And I would look forward to hearing your thoughts on it, a few months down the line, as you're allowing either praise or criticism to shape you and what you're learning. I would trust that the Spirit will probably bring opportunities for you in the near future to deal with praise and criticism as well. So.
Hey Noah.
Mm-hmm.
What about your point of view? I mean, why you give 7.5?
Well, it's kind of similar to Justin's inside. I mean, I don't have he specific. Well, with all of our writings, he kind of sees more into the heart behind the writing, which is obviously really insightful and a good thing to do when
that is really insightful.
Giving criticism. I didn't focus as much on that aspect of it, though it is similar in the sense that I noticed that Naomi didn't, I guess, involve herself in the way that she could have, similar to what Justin was saying. And the way that I saw that practically manifested in her essay was that the essay obviously has a topic, that being praise and criticism. I didn't actually see a theme in the essay. If I was to write about praise and criticism, I would either, and these are just two examples, but I would either take praise and criticism as maybe almost somewhat, don't misapply the word, but almost like philosophical concepts in the way that maybe they relate to each other as ideas in a more maybe metaphysical sense. Not to use silly terms like that, but just to see how they, just what defines them, and maybe the way, again, how they differ from one another, or maybe are part of some larger construct in some way, and thereby approach it in that kind of theme or way of approaching the subject. Or I would try to see how, probably a more likely scenario, I would approach praise and criticism in the sense that how it's actualized in real and in practical life through examples, and maybe take a more relational, maybe somewhat psychological or even spiritual approach as to how praise and criticism work in relationships.
Psychology, spiritual. Okay.
Yeah, just it have more of it. Naomi was kind of
More,
I couldn't exactly tell.
More lumped together a little bit, different. Didn't do a lot.
Yeah, it had a spiritual. These are interesting terms I use. I guess I hope I'm not causing confusion, but it had a spiritual tone because she was using a lot of biblical and spiritual terminology, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it had a coherent theme. So that was one thing that affected the grade. Naomi continues to word things kind of weirdly, in my opinion at least. And so it kind of, that throws me off a little bit. There were a lot of grammatical
In the
things.
beginning, your expression a little bit weird, you
Yeah.
know. So Emily didn't do a lot of editing.
And I've heard a lot
You will
about
not be happy about yourself.
I've heard a lot about Naomi being encouraged as a gifted writer, and so if that is indeed the case, then I am going to more harshly grade things depending on how things are worded, because that's how you write, is the
It's
way
a
you word
7.
things.
It's 7 now. Down point
I'm
5.
done. Oh,
Yeah.
now it's just a 7.
7, man.
Downgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment. No.
Okay.
All right.
But you do good job. You do something.
We'll probably have time for one more, and maybe do the rest next week or something.
Okay.
We can do Mr. Binky.
Is it a 6?
Yeah.
God, different name now. Well,
Really?
That's how his mom says it, Binky.
Binky.
Even
Binky. I don't know. Which one is which?
yeah, I'll share it with everyone.
Killa, don't look at me like that.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Did you say anything first one?
Yeah.
Well,
We
let's
can
look
do it all
at
at
it.
once.
It's a
What you
score.
can?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's look at the
Sure.
score first. Where's the score, man? There's no score. It's all my corrections.
Wait.
Where's
It's
the
because your
Yes,
corrections
yes,
came
yeah.
after I wrote.
Oh. Where's the score?
What's up?
Oh yeah, sorry I didn't answer
In the
any of your.
beginning?
Yeah.
You
Man,
just mark
no,
them all
I did a
as
lot of questions for you, man.
Wow.
Well,
It won't load.
6.10.
I know.
Okay, I need to lower my
Pretty
score
bad.
for you, so 6.10.
That's like a 30
Whoa.
second microwave
Oh.
hot pocket.
What? Benji.
Okay, I think
Hot
I
pocket.
send it to
No,
everyone.
that's like the definition of mid.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. No, it is. It's mid.
I
we're
don't-
happy
I
to
know.
choose Noah to be the one to read the essays for us.
It won't load.
Mid
Oh really?
Okay, read. Let me read.
Read.
You want to read?
I want to read your
please
essay.
do. Please do.
Hey, take our criticism.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay,
That's what it's
well,
about, boy.
Wait, how
Okay.
long is
I'm
it?
not gonna praise
It's
that.
pretty long, so.
And
Oh,
it's,
I can't get it on my phone. So.
Well, mine's just bad, so I can say that.
no.
Okay.
Naomi, do you want to use it off my phone since I'm going to use it?
Sure.
Praise versus Criticism
Thank you.
by Benjamin Moore. Both being two very important aspects of life, praise and criticism, can both build people up and break them down, but it's more important to see them in the correct perspective, which plays a big role in the way they are practiced and in how much you value them. How do we remain humble when receiving praise, as we often see that praise leads to pride? How are godly and righteous judgments relate to criticism? In the way that we criticize something or someone, can we criticize with a healthy and good perspective? I certainly am still learning myself what it means to leave this out truly. A good source to look to and also to discern from is Jesus' life on earth, and certainly from the Word of God that says, God is a righteous judge, a God who displays wrath every day. That's a little bit harsh, the last part, so but it's true. So. There are similarities between these two topics, but in some ways, they are complete opposites. You can also see these two as direct reflections of each other. If you think about it, you own the direction in which you take or steer towards in both of these. With the praise, there's both danger and safety found within. Scott H. Young quotes, if someone congratulates you, by all means thank them, enjoy the fruits of your success, but if you fully embrace every piece of praise you receive, you open yourself to becoming overconfident. Additionally, since the praise and criticism are equal partners, when you accept all praise without thought, you expose yourself to criticism. That's a very good quote. In this way, this topic can not only relate but harm you. Well, that sentence is a little bit confusing to
Sorry,
me.
yeah.
Carry yourself with humble confidence is a good way to put this. Be aware what you choose to elevate with your praise. It can be hard to see when you acknowledge something until it's standing straight in front of you. Even in daily life, be mindful what you put your time into. Even simple things, you may be giving praise to things you may not necessarily want to. But having a heart humbled for the Lord, seeking to hear His heart the way He desires to guide you, these things of wisdom become clearer, and it will save you from the destruction of the self and the flesh. Criticism can, in a way, hurt you, but you should not let it.
I don't know if there's a real word.
Flattery, I
No,
guess you
faltery.
Faltery.
No, okay.
Did you not see my suggestion?
Okay.
No.
Now I know what you're doing. When you see my suggestion, you just go. A lot of my
it
suggestions,
was
I actually
flat-
typed something that you're supposed to read.
It was flattery, right? Your
Yeah, it's-
suggestion.
Yeah, but
I didn't change it. Yeah. Because I was gonna ask you.
What
Oh.
try to use?
A real
You use flattery, basically. huh?
Flattery?
Oh,
Would that be-
flattery,
yeah.
okay. Or discretion for self-value. That is difficult one for me to dissect.
Discretion is like
Mhm.
breaking someone down, right?
No, discretion means
discretion's using a
exercise
certain kind
good
of
discernment.
discernment on the
Yeah.
some,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Or debasement of oneself.
Debasement.
Yeah, debasement. So value block you from getting to your destination. Like criticism can in a way hurt you, but you should not let philanthropy or debasement of self-value block you from getting you to your destination. In this way, praise can hurt you. It's the same. Too much praise can puff up your pride, and it is all you see opening the doors to overconfidence, defeating the fact that your destination still lies ahead. Through life, we encounter different forms of criticism, and praise. When you persist in criticism, it's important to not let praise overtake you. In order to properly handle criticism, you must be able to handle praise properly as well. I will start a next paragraph starting with that. So, there are two sides to praise and criticism. Constructive criticism is a very different perspective on criticism. In my opinion, something we as people, in order to carry ourselves correctly, need. This disciplines oneself to better take criticism and grow in different areas. The difference between criticism and constructive criticism is unhealthy judgmental thoughts versus truthful, wise judgmental thoughts. Okay. Unhealthy judgmental thoughts solely from a mindset of tearing down and the very narrow view of someone or something. Constructive criticism is the truth that is being told to benefit you, and is coming from a more caring mindset of respect and even honor that you may not even recognize. It truly is a blessing to grasp and have a broader understanding over this criticism, and even more so to be able to take the wisdom and apply it. With all this noted, the way you choose to let your mind and heart receive criticism praise is the key to derive such a beneficial wisdom. It's stumbling here and there with a lot of expression, but you did a good job. I think so. I think I like what you said. So. But to Noah, man, it's a 6 point. Okay.
It looks like Justin has some thoughts on it.
Okay. Well, obviously you have a lot to say.
Nope.
He's deferring everything.
Demeaning, right? There's even moaning,
I'm just being
cracking,
honest.
joking.
The
Poking
true,
It's so bad he doesn't
the
have
true
anything to say.
opposite of praise and criticism, and which make them similar and almost coherent in a way, is indifference. Indifference is the opposite of both, which in a sense unifies both praise and criticism. And Elijah's indifferent too, I see.
Really?
What does that mean? I don't
I've
understand.
got lost
He's gonna
myself.
hit you on that one.
From the first sentence.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Not I.
Think about it.
I
It's
didn't hear what he
like-
said.
You got it, what he said?
Yeah.
Okay, repeat.
indifference. So indifference, not having a thought or opinion
I
either
don't need
way.
to explain, I want you
right?
to repeat.
Oh.
I am repeating. I'm
Not a memory.
putting it in my phraseology, so maybe that will offer some understanding.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you.
So being indifferent, right? Praise and criticism both carry a very pointed purpose. Indifference carries no weight, no value, nothing that is pointed or direct. It just
It
just
out
is.
there. Yeah.
Right? There's nothing to it. Praise and criticism both offer you the weight of something.
Yes.
So being indifferent, there's emptiness to it. So that is the opposite, because both praise and criticism carry weight.
Yeah, indifference. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's how I would interpret what Noah had said.
So he said basically Elijah is indifferent to
Mhm.
Benji's
Yeah.
no criticism or praise.
It has no weight to offer.
No weight, nothing to offer. You
I
indifferent.
guess so.
You are indifferent. That's what it is. You are it. That's a joke. Break it down. Becomes so blank. So, I'm sorry. Mess up your joke, no.
It was a joke. I didn't know it was a
Yeah,
joke.
that's not joke. Okay.
I thought it was funny.
Oh, it was a serious thing.
I guess it was a joke. Never mind.
It could be both.
Yeah.
Hey girl, where are you? Come back to this world, please. Let's go here.
Where Kayla? She just like,
Criticism or praise?
I see. Gotta look through it again.
Nothing to say.
I think some criticism on this one for sure.
My criticism was nothing.
That bad, huh?
What was your praise then?
No, I'm saying there's nothing.
Well, I'll say something.
You say something?
Excuse me, sir?
You
Yeah.
have
You
any?
were waiting. I think your essay suffers the same fate that Naomi's does.
Oh.
And so before reading, because I haven't read any of the other ones yet, to me this particular subject that was given to you guys is the type of subject of writing that you would want to live in and experience. I don't think a manual, my perspective, I could be wrong, I don't think a manual gave you this topic so that you guys could give us a technical understanding of what praise and criticism means.
That's right.
To me, it feels, this is a topic that requires reflection.
Yeah.
And whenever you have reflection, there has to be personal application.
Yeah.
There has to be how does that, I mean, and I would encourage you in all of your writing, not every writing has to be emotional in nature. Technical essays are very valuable. This is a good study in how to analyze criticism and praise. But I would say again, I want to feel some emotion from the author here. Because if I want to understand praise and criticism, I want to understand it from real life experience. I want to feel that the author has felt wrestling with praise and wrestling with criticism. And it's not a criticism of the work itself. It's a good essay. But again, it for me, reading it, it falls flat. I'm kind of wanting more to it. I want a little bit more weight.
More realness.
To Noah's point.
Your reflection about.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to experience and understand you more. Your understanding, your experience with that. So
because I think God is doing something in the past season on this verse update to you guys. So that this is a topic I wanted you guys to build some basic guarding heart towards social media and those kind of influence out there in the trend of this world. The easy to praise or criticize you, so we don't want to be moved by those shallow ways or trendy ways. We want to build a godly standard, and this standard when building the young and in the formative year of consciousness, you will have a huge benefit years down the road when somebody offer some criticism, if you don't really appreciate them, they actually care about you, you know. So you may perceive that person try to do harm to you. You lost a friend rather gain a friend by appreciating the criticism, you know. So one of the things I shared in life through certain occasions, my life experiences, I never, seldom rather, be upset with people take time to criticize me. I don't care whether they offer legit or bad. At least the interest to talk to me about their feeling, right? So they take interest for me to reconcile my relationship with them. Because indifference, as Noah said, it means they don't care. Mm-hmm. But if people really want to wrestle with you, it means they care about you. It's a hard thing for, especially when you have a supervisor or somebody, have a say in a certain aspect of your life. That means they really take interest in it. Most of the people testing you to try to see how you handle yourself in tougher or things not that fearable. So interesting enough, those people turn out to be the best support friends you can get, because the more seeking solid relationships, somebody or someone they can invest in and depend on, rather than shallow relationships. Unfortunately, modern day culture is fostered by we building shallow relationships. Social media, a million followers. I'm not trying to criticize social media per se, but give a false impression you really are somebody. Currently, maybe it's the blown pop that right? Not sure. So you can't take any criticism, or so you cannot really do anything solid. It's just a show. Well, I'm not saying criticize social media and personality. I'm saying for us, we need to recognize, at least we have basic discernment. Those are the ways others doing it. That's not really the way we want our life to be influenced by. So good or bad, not my business. I need to concentrate what is important for my life. Not being over-influenced. How many people like my post? Has a huge impact on body and mind. Right? Nobody likes your post. You really enjoy yourself. You don't have to be like anybody. It's your life. It's a tool for yourself. Don't expect people to like it. To begin with, if somebody like it, take it lightly either. So the real relationship is when on the phone argue with you, we still can have lunch together. So that kind of relationship matters. Am I making sense to you? So that started with a fundamental, some basic grasp what a praise and what a criticism means in your life. Who is offering to it? People don't know anything about me, offer criticism or praise. It's like a bug fly around. Okay, it's good bug or bad bug. I don't know. So, but somebody is sitting beside me, going to eat with me, talk with me, deal with life with me. I want to work out a very healthy way, a constructive way to receive the criticism and the praise. I want to have a solid conviction to with that person. So. It's just hinted. I give him a very hard time, so in a few occasions, your dad took it very well. He was not so emotionally happy about it, but he got a heart in him. He knows that we're not doing the harm to him. So our relationship fundamentally changed. Ice bring him down, walls begin to bring him down, and we can talk solid topic rather than just good weather, good body, good food. So, anyway, we need to wrap up. I would like to for Noah to offer your comments. Why you give him only 6?
I just felt pretty scattered when I was reading his essay.
Scattered, yeah. Okay.
Like it took a lot of similar to Naomi. Like he hasn't typically had this problem, I think, but it's similar to Naomi. His thoughts
were
not.
Well.
Yeah, they didn't like the way he worded things, first of all, was a little interesting and made it to where it was kind of difficult for me to actually understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
If there was indeed in some sentences anything that he was trying to say in a specific sentence, like
Well, then,
like sometimes, like I mean, I only say this from experience sometimes, but like sometimes you just write some like a sentence that's supposed to be like an add-on or a pre-sentence to some sentence, and it actually
You know the
isn't really
problem
saying
is,
anything.
You didn't really take a long time to write. First draft out. You didn't really change it. Right?
There were a
You
lot
didn't-
of grammar problems too, like
Yeah.
quite a few grammar problems in that one too.
So this is the one thing I want to encourage you guys. You can ask more time to work on essay rather. I will give you a whole week if you want to write a good essays. But then you produce a half-cooked essay, nobody ready until you don't feel good about it. I mean, you literally ruin the whole discussion, right? So, you know, so I want you guys to take a certain topic like this. Well, I'll give you 3 weeks. Begin with when you're really thinking about the topic, the application. Right? I think it's always, well, on the surface, we're a casual person, but when I talk about certain things, topic is a worry. I think I'm thoughtful. You know, I don't want you to kind of take it lightly when I give an essay like this nature, for instance. I'm not expecting a good essay out here. I want to learn some solid principle in life. That's my purpose. And open discussion with the parents, with the peers, you know, so.
And another thing too about this section of our study time, the writing time, is, well, obviously writing is about expressing your thoughts. It's not just a how to have profound thoughts class, it's a writing class. So I am actually pretty narrow on you guys about how you write things. So grammar is a really big part of that.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel 2 points on your grammar.
Probably.
At least 1 point, man. Because grammar. So. Thank you. Somebody is laughing ball over in his heart and he's ready to pray. Go ahead. His word means balance. So.